Hi guys, today I'm going to delve a little deeper into the project management lifecycle. Why do we use it? The main purpose of using a lifecycle is so that it's broken into phases. These phases then help you in various different ways. Firstly, it helps you with high level planning. So when you're doing a bid for a project, you're doing the initiation, the very first stages, you can in sweeps kind of work out roughly how long it's going to take without having to do a bottom-up estimation. You can go, usually takes 6 months to plan, usually takes about a year to build, and then we need a bit of a close down. You can obviously split it slightly further into more stages like detailed planning and basic planning and those sort of things, just to give you a little bit more structure, but it means you can do a top-down estimation of roughly what's going to be going on. Also, it means you can sort of estimate who you're going to have on the project. In the planning phases, you don't want people who are doing the work, you want people who are planners, estimators, people who can work out what the project's going to be. Whereas during the implementation phase, you need a different skill set. So it gives you, again, that high-level view. It's really useful for program managers so that they can look through all their projects and see which ones they've got planning at any one time. Because you kind of want to split them up. You don't want every project starting at the same time. It's good for portfolio managers, again, for similar reasons. And for the project manager, it just means they have a bit of a handle of what will be going on when. Secondly, when planning, using the project management lifecycle means that it gives you a basis to start, in that you know you do need to plan. You don't just jump straight into implementation. You know you do need to implement. You don't just jump into benefits realisation. You know that you need to remember to close down the project. It gives you the phases and makes you think about each one and make sure you don't skip any. Thirdly, using a life cycle with phases gives you phase gates. These are reviews which you can use to make sure you've finished each phase. So similar to point 2, it means that you can check you've finished planning, you've finished implementing, you've finished realising the benefits. It also makes sure that with the first phases you've got a business case, you've made sure you know what your requirements are. There are tick lists you can use so that you know what you're meant to have done. So in these phase reviews, you don't always just have them at the end of the phases, you also have them at the beginning. So it means you sit down and make sure you're ready to start planning. You've got your funding, you've got the people, you've got everything you need. And again, you're ready to start implementing. You've got everything you need to start doing the project. You've planned everything you need to plan, especially if your project phases are overlapping. If you're not finishing the planning until you've already started the implementation, it gives you that extra assurance that you've finished that bit. Fourth, it gives you points to look at go and no-go decisions. These are points where you may decide to completely can the project, where you need higher level authorization to continue, especially at the beginning and especially at the end of the planning phase, to make sure it's viable, to make sure it's still needed, to make sure that you are going to realise the intended benefits and the project hasn't sort of changed its direction without being managed. This sort of function is usually done as part of the phase reviews, but it can also be done at other stages. So, what do you think of my explanation of why a project is structured in a life cycle? Do let me know. Comment below. Do you work on projects that don't actually use a life cycle? I'd really like to know exactly what you do instead. Thanks. Bye.